Are you ready to kickstart your week with some dirt-slinging and tire-slaying action motorsports radio that packs the biggest gas?
Hi, Ken Block here.
Hey, my name's Jolene Van Butte.
What's up, Brian Deegan here.
Vaughn Ginn Jr. here.
They've been thrown into one show that has broken down the barriers of what a motorsports radio show should be. This is the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, with support from General Tire, KMC Wheels, Dirtfish, Gibson Exhaust, and MTX Audio, with your host, who also happens to spend his weekends flying 800 horsepower trucks through the dirt, Jim Beaver.
When was the last time you saw an off-road or rally driver begging to get behind the wheel of a NASCAR IndyCar? Yep, not happening, but you sure see these pavement racers begging to drive our cars.
And his partner in crime every week, a self-proclaimed Canadian moto chick who was jumping triples and taking podiums before most guys even learned to ride. Amy Hood.
No one knows how to say my last name. Like, is it really that hard? Amy Hood. Like I'm from the hood. Don't get it twisted.
Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to join us as we take you through a motorsports ride like no other. Here is the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other, Jim Beaver.
What is happening? Jim Beaver here. This is the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, as if you didn't know that already. Oh, man, we got a fun one lined up today. I am flying solo yet again. My partner in crime, Amy Hood. She is off being Amy Hood once again. And no, she isn't fired from the show. I just have to throw that out there. I've got some interesting tweets. I just have to tell you, at some point, she will be breaking news on this show, which she remains a part of and will be for I don't know how long. But she does have some blockbuster news. And when she is able to talk about it, we will. Trust me, it is big. And when I say big, I mean big as in B-I-G, big, large. So, yeah, Amy Hood is still a part of the show, and she will be back, I think, next week, hopefully. But anyways, we got it locked and loaded today. Jason Voss, Trophy Truck Racer, taking the big win at the Best in the Desert Blue Water Desert Challenge this weekend. He's on the line. And then we've got Formula Drift champ, three-time champ Chris Forsberg. He's going to be calling in as well. Add in some surprise GRC guests and a ton of stuff to talk about. It's going to be one heck of a show. Thanks for staying tuned to the Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris Razor. We are going to be back after this. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty Radio Show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Need new tires? Between September 1st and October 15th, General Tire's making trails, and you can receive a Visa rebate card for up to $70 with the purchase of 4 qualifying tires. From the ultra-high-performance G-Max AS03 to the all-new Grabber X3 for extreme mud, dirt, and rock, General Tire has a tire that will help get you there. For more information, drive over to GeneralTire.com, and remember, with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at mtx.com. Welcome back to everybody's favorite action motorsports radio show, the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. And how do you like that, you longtime listeners coming out of these breaks? I'm trying to retrain myself here. You know, it's funny, you do radio long enough, and I started thinking about it. I had to listen back to do some editing to a show last week, and I was like, man, I say the same thing coming out of breaks every single time, and it's literally like breaking years' worth of habit, right? And so I'm sitting there, and today I'm consciously making a decision. We're going to come out of every break different than we have for the past couple of years. So it's like retraining myself. It may not sound like I have the energy I normally have coming in and out of breaks. Well, it's because I'm having to think about what I'm saying. Like before, it just rolled off the tongue, man. It was like, welcome back. Now it's a little bit different. So retraining myself, you know, I got an internal battle going on with myself, trying to figure out how to do this. And I can tell you now with the podcast too, and those of you that haven't started listening to Jim Beaver's Project Action, I guess this is where I slide in my promo, nice and easy. But it's been different. You know, I got to say, you know, Project Action and things like that, and it's totally different, you know, because I'm so used to rolling out of things saying Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris Razor. So just little things, and here I am talking about something that you guys probably could care less about. But that's where my head is at today. So there you go. But you know, Project Action, those of you that have tuned in, getting some ton of feedback, actually starting to get a ton of ratings and reviews. I'm asking you guys that are Apple users, go to iTunes, please. This actually makes a big difference. You don't think it does. Makes a massive difference for the show, just with the way that iTunes picks it up and publicizes it and promotes it. So I'm asking you, you know, as fans of this show, if you go and check out the new show, Jim Beaver's Project Action on iTunes, please subscribe to it and then rate and review. All three are very important. Subscribe, rate, review. I'll never tell you how to rate and review me, but just asking you to do it. So, subscribe, rate, and review to Project Action on iTunes. You can do the same thing for the Down and Dirty Radio Show, too. Obviously, if you're listening here live, you're probably not listening to the archive over there on iTunes, but you're going to do it that one. But with Project Action, definitely super crucial. So I appreciate it. And, you know, if you're not an Apple user, you can always get it on the Podcast One app, or go to podcastone.com, and Project Action is there. And also downanddirtyshow.com. I'm throwing the files up there as well. We've had some great guests: Ken Block, Jason Ellis, skateboarder Sean Malto. Amy Hood held it down with me last week. This week, very, very special interview this Thursday. It's dropping. You don't want to miss this. If you're an action sports fan, if you're an off-road fan, don't miss this. My good friend Sarah Price, she's been on the show before. Her and I sat down for over an hour and talked about kind of the origins of her career, women in motorsport, you know, Robbie Gordon, stadium super trucks, UTV racing, motocross, marketing. I mean, just an amazing interview with somebody that I have an immense amount of respect for in Sarah Price. So this Thursday that drops, Project Action, and you definitely, I'm telling you, don't miss that one. So Yeah, we also had, I guess now actually getting to the show, but we had Best in the Desert race going on this past weekend here in my hometown of Parker. Those of you that showed up to Jim Riley and my party with General Tire up there at Pirates Den, you guys definitely had one heck of a good time. I know Jim and I certainly did. It was definitely a fun one up there at Pirates Den. I did like an hour-long kind of a podcast up there. It had Cameron Steele and TJ Flores and Jim Riley, and I'm kind of trying to decide what I should do with that file. Like, I haven't thrown it up yet. I probably should on the website, but I can't plug it into this show because literally like an hour long of just raw audio talking off-road, really good. I don't know if I want to do it in Project Action. Like, I don't know what I should do with it. Like, it's a must-hear hour, really candid with Cameron, TJ Flores, Jim Riley, and I. And you guys are going to want to listen to it. I just haven't quite figured out what I want to do. I'll probably throw it up on the Down and Dirty Radio Show website and RSS feed. So I'll be looking for that later this week. Probably not going to do it on Project Action, but when I do it, it's just seriously raw audio, not edited, nothing, and you guys are definitely gonna love it. We had so much fun, just seriously buddies sitting around drinking beer, talking off road, and not much better. And man, learned a lot about TJ Flores. The guy is a Native American. He goes up to Indian reservations, and TJ, it's pretty amazing interview. He talked about growing up living in a car, and how he's pretty much hand built his career to where he's at, where he's a trophy truck driver, and and he goes to Native American reservations because he is Native American, and gives talks to students. Hey, it doesn't matter, how low you think you are. Like, I've been there, you can come out of it, and just a remarkable story with TJ Flores, and and I've known TJ for 15 years, and I didn't know a lot of this about him. So definitely, I can't wait to get that up on the network so you guys can hear it. But Best in the Desert race this weekend, and we're gonna have Jason Voss on to chat on that. We're probably gonna chat on the race a little bit more in depth later on in the show. But that went on, man. Formula Drift. We had the finale there at Irwindale, the House of Drift. And we're going to be talking about that as well with Chris Forsberg, who's calling in here in hour number 1. Looking forward to him. And he's going racing in the Baja 1000 next. So I'm a dirt guy. I'm ready to talk some Baja 1000 with Mr. Forsberg. So that's going to be a fun one, man. But then the Red Bull GRC finale, man. We all thought Tanner Faust had it in the bag, and Scott Speed sneaks in there, takes championship number 2 in a row. So, and we may, I will say this, I said we may have some surprise GRC guests. The GRC banquet was last night, right? So, GRC Awards banquet was last night. So, I reached out to Scott Speed. I text Scott, and then I reached out to Mitchell DeYoung as well, which that's another story we got to talk about, and he's back, right? That's big news, So, I reached out to both of them. And everybody's non-committal about coming on for an interview today, and not that they don't want to. We're probably going to get them next week, but the banquet was last night, and I've been to like 3 or 4 GRC Awards banquets. I didn't make the trip out to Los Angeles for this one, especially being that it was on a Monday night. But I got to tell you, no, everyone was non-committal. I think everybody's planning on having hangovers, and I know Mitchell. He's underage, so I'm saying Mitchell probably wasn't drinking, but it doesn't mean he wasn't getting his dance on and staying out till all hours of the night. So I don't know. Everybody was non-committal, so we have some time slots for Scott Speed and Mitchell DeYoung. Whether or not they call in, I don't know. So we may, and both of them said, hey, if I'm awake, I'll call in. But it was kind of one of those, so I don't know. I can respect that. The GRC Awards banquet happens once a year. I can respect that. So Scott Speed, Mitchell DeYoung, we don't get them today. We'll get them next week. If not, you're just going to have to hear me ramble for those segments and talk some Red Bull Global Rally Cars. Maybe we'll start texting some people if I find out they're not going to, and get Chris Leone with GRC on the line. Not that he's going to be any better off than them, right? He's probably going to have a hangover. He was at the GRC Awards as well, man. I don't know. Kristen Kenny, she was there. Jared Deanna. I'm sure Lorette Nickel, man, all my partners in crime for GRC, they're probably all milking headaches today. So I kind of feel left out. Not that I want a headache, but yeah. So there you go. And gotta mention too, my good friend Fred Chang. He's got a new show dropping on NBC called Motor Club, and it's all kind of off-road action motorsports. Drops the 20th of this month. Motor Club on NBC Sports. Next week we're going to talk a lot more about it. But I'm telling you, the trailer's up on YouTube. I'll post something up to my social media. But this TV show, if you're listening to this radio show, this TV show, Motor Club, is for you. It's all about rally cars, off-road, and drifting. And, it's got Pastrana. It's got Tanner Faust. It's got Speed. I'm telling you, if you like this show, this new show, Motor Club on NBC Sports, is for you. That's coming later on this month. We're going to talk a lot more about it, but I wanted to get that plug in there before we go to break. And with that, we are going to break. And when we come back, I don't know, maybe we'll have a GRC driver. If not, maybe we'll just be talking some GRC and some off-road and some other stuff as well. So lots of fun coming at you on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When RJ Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP 1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. For over 100 years, General Tires provided tires for your lifestyle and your adventure. From the ultra-high-performance G-Max AS03 to the all-new Grabber X3 for extreme mud, dirt, and rock, General Tire has a tire that will help get you there. Between September 1st and October 15th, receive a Visa rebate card for up to $70 with the purchase of 4 qualifying General Tires. For more information, drive over to GeneralTire.com. And remember, with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance, rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. And there you go. I screwed it up already. I was trying to come out of every break differently than I normally do. And bam, right there. Dunzo. What are we, 3 breaks in here? 1, 2, I don't know. But I was dunzo that quick. So failure on my part. Absolute failure. Yeah. Anyways, Best in the Desert happening this past weekend, and we're going to talk off and on about it throughout the show. I know a lot of you have been getting messages, hey, what happened to you, and this and that, and I raced. Didn't race very far, but I was entered. I raced. Actually, didn't qualify too bad. I think 33rd out of, I don't know how many trucks ended up taking the green. What are there, 50 trucks, something like that. I was about mid-pack. Not bad for me. My truck's a little bit older. So, we're a little bit down on horsepower. Truck's a little bit older. Still definitely capable of getting good finishes, but just with qualifying, we never qualify well because of the power. Once we get into race trim and race conditions, truck is on point. But we never qualify well for some reason. But kind of is what it is. So didn't qualify too bad, and went out on lap number 1 of 3 on Saturday, and then you got 3 laps again on Sunday, and went out there and. General Tires were hooking up. How do you like that sponsor plug there? No, I had the outside lane, which sucks. You get to drag race, and then it's kind of like a hard left, and then a hard right, and then another left. And the guy that's on the inside, always has the advantage. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to win the drag race just because it's shorter distance first corner, and bam, or I guess third, fourth corner where you Y-end back together. But it's exactly what happened. He won the drag race, so go figure. But, I tucked in right behind him, and dust was hellacious on lap number 1. I was probably running about 80% in the dust, as was everybody, because it was blind. Like, literally, I couldn't see the front bumper of the truck, So you're just playing slot cars in the ruts, hoping you're on the track, So we were pushing it, and about 7-8 miles in, I'm going through some just short, choppy whoops, and all of a sudden I go, man, I lost power steering, right? What the heck is going on? Immediately pull over, and, I lost the power steering, but the front upper A-arm mount had broke, and upper A-arm went into the power steering filter and burst that, so had no power steering fluid. So, we were donezo for the weekend. Truck needs to have some new AR mounts fabbed up and stuff like that, and they look good, but things happen in the desert. It's just one of those things. Was able to help out some of my friends. Jim Riley, he had some problems with his truck, broken upper shock mount, so we got him into the race shop. Andre with OTSFF, his very first ever off-road race. A lot of you guys know him from Supercross circles and snowcross. Anyways, he came by the shop, and he had rolled his truck on day 1 in his very first ever race. So go figure, rolling in your first off-road race. But got him a new 4-link bar, and plugged that into the back of his truck, and he actually got a finish out of the deal, I think, on day number 2. So we stayed busy off and on throughout the weekend. My weekend ended up consisting of drinking beer, I guess, instead of actually racing. So 7 miles, man, and a 3-mile qualifier. So I did 10 total miles this weekend. I guess I was doing good, right? I guess I got into double digits, I don't know. It is what it is, man. That is off-road racing. We'll definitely, I think for the trophy truck, I know I've had a lot of people ask me, hey, what's your schedule this year? What's going on, and next year, and I'll be doing a lot of racing next year. Let me just put that out there. A lot of racing. As far as this year goes, I think as far as the trophy truck goes, we're done for this year. We're not going to run the last race. Got some stuff to do. We'll probably have that at Parker 425 in February. Past that, I don't know what the schedule will be. Probably do the trophy truck and the 2 Parker races just because they're in my backyard. I will be racing a lot of the Best in the Desert races next year. Just probably won't be in a trophy truck. Got a nice big project I'm working on that I can't wait to bring you guys in the loop on at some point in time. And I know you guys are going to be stoked on it, as am I, but we can't talk about that quite yet. So, I think I'm hanging up the helmet for the rest of the year. Not to say that if somebody called last minute and needs somebody at the Baja 1000 or Pahrump, I wouldn't mind, but I think we're going to switch gears and get the razors tuned up and start doing some free riding out in the desert and maybe some filming and stuff like that. So, So there you go. That's kind of what's going on in my world. Bummer of a weekend for me, for sure. Man, I got to say, and we're going to talk full results and breakdown of Best in the Desert later on, but big takeaway from this event. So those of you that don't follow UTV racing, if you're an off-road fan and don't, I don't know where you're at, because it's kind of become, like, to me, you've got two divisions in off-road that are really kind of like premier divisions at this point, or divisions people pay attention to. 6100 is thrown in there as well, but you got Trophy Truck and UTVs. They bring like their own media package. Like it's desert racing, but they've got this whole community that surrounds it, right? Craig Scanlon, COO of Polaris Razor, I guess my boss technically, but Craig's had this new car, and there's been some teaser images, Scanlon Motorsports Group, popping up on social media and stuff like that throughout the year. But I finally got to see this new Holes racing car in the flesh. Holes up in Washington, they've built all of R.J. Anderson's XP1K Razors and stuff, but got to see this new Razor, groundbreaking. It is absolutely groundbreaking, Craig Scanlon's new Razor. It's not even a Razor. I hate to say that. It's like it's tough to even call a Razor at this point, because the thing is it's insane. It's like a miniature Class 1 car, and I say that and totally mean it. It is a miniature Class 1 car. It's crazy. I've never seen anything quite like it. And when you guys, I hope somebody somewhere, I hope UTV Underground or somebody does a vehicle breakdown where they take the skins off of this car. You guys are going to see it, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, that's a Polaris Razor. Most beautiful desert build I've probably seen in the past couple of years, and that includes trophy trucks. So, yes, I am saying that. I'm saying there's a Polaris Razor that is currently that debuted in Best in the Desert that is the best-looking build out of all of off-road that I've seen in probably 3-4 years. I'm trying to think back when I've seen something that was nicer or cleaner. Like, it's just groundbreaking. It's revolutionary. It's a game changer. Literally, Craig Scanlon is changing the game with this Razor, and it's just, it's insane. So I can't wait. You guys are going to see this, and if I didn't tell you it was a Polaris Razor, you would have never figured it was a Polaris Razor. Let's put it that way. Other than the grill in the front, this thing is, man, it's badass. That's the easiest way to put it. And Craig, he just started in the back, and just kind of getting a feel for the car. He's a veteran racer, but he was just kind of getting a feel for things. And man, I got to tell you, he had been an ear-to-ear grin at the finish line. He ended up finishing, he's just kind of taking it through this year. He's going to run for the championship next year and kind of trying to get the bugs and kinks worked out of this thing. And I got to tell you, it was so impressive. So impressive. That's the easiest way to put it. So impressive. Very, very, very excited to see, the future of that car. So, other than that, man, it was a solid event. 270 total entries, and keep in mind, this isn't, quote, one of Best in the Desert's marquee events, like 425, Mint 400, Vegas Torino. Those are kind of your three marquee events, and everything else is just kind of sprinkled in there, right? This is like the event that is becoming like a can't-miss event that never was supposed to be that. It started out as just kind of a plug-in race. Another event, and it's grown, and it's a point now where you don't miss this event, and it's probably the best race on the schedule to spectate. If you're a spectator, you don't want to miss this one. So I don't know. I mean, I'm telling you, I know the Mint 400, nobody wants to miss the Mint 400. Spectators don't, racers don't, and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, if you're a hardcore off-road racing fan and you don't mind missing the spectacle of Fremont Street and all that, you just want to go out and watch some racing, and with a ton of entries, I'm telling you, the Blue Water Desert Challenge in October, it's that event. You can spectate very well on it. Lots of spectator areas. It's all run on Indian reservation, so you don't have to worry about dealing with BLM and the Bureau of Land Management and getting tickets and fines and everything else. Indian tribes don't let you do whatever you want, but they're a lot more flexible than the BLM. I don't know, man. This race is one of those, like, next year, if you're a fan, make a weekend out of it. It is worth coming out for. Like, I'm just telling you, and it's growing, like, which is surprising because it's so close to the Baja 1000. But, it's, I don't know, it's the only race where you can actually even rent a boat and watch the race from a boat. Like, the trucks get within, like, 3 feet of the Colorado River. So you can actually, like, full on, like, Monaco Grand Prix style watch the race, right? So I don't know, man. It's definitely one to put on your calendar. So we are going to take a short break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. And when we come back here in a couple of minutes, my buddy Chris Forsberg, I guess he's known as Chris the Force Forsberg, he's going to be calling into the show, and we're going to be talking some Formula Drift, his championship, and probably talking a little Baja 1000 because him and Ryan Turk are lined up to race that here in a few weeks down there in Mexico. So definitely looking forward to having Chris on the line here in a couple of minutes, and I'm sure you guys are tired of me ranting and raving anyways. So we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host the Down and Dirty Radio Show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our RZR vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Need new tires? Between September 1st and October 15th, General Tires making trails, and you can receive a Visa rebate card for up to $70 with the purchase of 4 qualifying tires. From the ultra-high performance G-Max AS03 to the all-new Grabber X3 for extreme mud, dirt, and rock, General Tire has a tire that will help get you there. For more information, drive over to GeneralTire.com, and remember, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound of the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. And I did it again. Man, I am screwing up with my intros out of the break. It's just old habits, right? We got three of them down and back to the old habit there. So I don't know. I guess we should have had a little bet for some giveaways or something like that. And You guys would be killing it. But that being said, I do happen to have a box of General Tire swag sitting here in the studio, like koozie cups and hats and stickers and all kinds of stuff. So I got to tell you guys, if you want this stuff, I don't know, how should I give it away? I want to know how you guys think I ought to give it away. Tweet me at JimBeaver15 and let me know how you think I should give this stuff away. How should I be giving it away? I'm all ears, man. I want to know. I want to know what you guys are thinking. So I got it. It's yours, but you got to give me a good reason to give it to you. And it doesn't even have to necessarily be an on-air contest. Like, I don't know. Tweet me or Instagram me, tag me, and let me know what you guys think. What you guys think is. Is a good reason that you should have it. So, I don't know, impress me. I want to be impressed. I want to see what you're willing to do to get this General Tire swag. So, all within reason. And if you want to tag General Tire, it makes it even that much better. But I do have a bunch of stuff to give away, and it's yours if you can give me a good reason. And I got a bunch of stuff I can throw in the box there, not just General Tire stuff. Like General Tire's hooked it up, but I got a bunch of other stuff I can throw in too. Stickers and hats and, I don't know, lanyards and keychains and stuff from MTX Audio. So I'm just telling you, man, I got a bunch of swag, and I'm going to start giving this stuff away. And I'm not going to run a formal contest for it. That's it. I'm just going to see who wants to tag me and with something cool. I want to see something cool. If I'm impressed, I will DM you and get your info, and we will give some stuff away to you, man. It's I think that's the way we're going to do this one. Not a formal contest. Just I'm waiting to see somebody tag me on Twitter or Instagram and impress me with something. I don't care if it's a funny video, if it's a shot of me romping the trophy truck, if it's you being a goofball, like you doing something rad, like making something cool in your shop, welding something awesome, shredding a razor. Jumping your truck, doing a burnout, like seriously, impress me. Like, I don't care, doing a kickflip on a skateboard, like whatever, like, do something cool, tag me, impress me, and General Tire and myself will hook you up with some stuff. So there you go. There, I haven't done an on-air contest in quite some time, but we are definitely we're officially running one. So you guys got the next week. Let's say that. Like, I'll give you guys a week window here. You got until next week when we air the next radio show to get this done. But man, waiting on Chris Forsberg to call in. I'm yawning here in the studio, going to fall asleep, just rambling on. We started out, we were going to have like Forsberg and we're going to have like Forsberg and Mitchell DeYoung and Scott Speed, and here we go. Here's Chris Forsberg on the line. What is happening, Chris Forsberg, my buddy?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Oh, I am doing well, and I've already been hit up by one of my sponsors of the radio show, and and they're already like they're like, you got to ask Chris about the Baja 1000. Like it's funny. Like I'm sorry, you just won the championship, but all my sponsors care about is talking to Chris about the Baja 1000.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, that's your neck of the woods. You guys are out there getting down and dirty, of course.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to come along with you.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But man, this Formula Drift Championship, dude, I got to tell you, we had you on earlier this year. It was funny because I had Osbo on last week, and Frederick was just being Frederick. It was all in fun, but he's like, Forsberg, I'm coming for you, man. I'm not going to give it to you easy. And you were Mr. Consistent this year. But it came down to the wire, man. It's kind of be exciting. I mean, I know as a driver, it's great to have it wrapped up before the final round, but it builds a little bit of drama going into the final round when it's still up for grabs,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can't really think of any season where it was sorted out before the last round. I think maybe in 2004, Sam Hubenet had like a 90-point lead, and that was like the only time it was like he had to not qualify, and I had to like win the event. And it's usually a lot closer nowadays, and there's 2, 3, and we've even had up to 5 people in contention with it a couple years ago. And yes. So it's always great to be one of those drivers that's in contention for the championship and has a shot at winning it, even though the odds might not be in our favor. But coming into this last round, being in the points lead definitely makes a nice, comfortable position as a driver. But knowing, like I said in a couple of interviews leading up to the weekend, like Osbo, I know he won there last year, and he's very capable of winning the event. And Vaughn has won Irwindale several times, and he's definitely not someone to just let slide by. So it was definitely not an easy path, and in the end, we all wrecked ourselves out. And so it was kind of crazy, dramatic ending for it, for sure. And it was one of those things where we all were just going for it. And like I said, the fact that we all just kind of took ourselves out individually on our own shows how hard we were all pushing for it.
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, man, your program is definitely on point right now. I mean, with the consistency you showed this year, I mean, you've taken 2 out of the last 3 championships. You got to be pretty happy. I mean, heading into the off season. I mean, obviously everybody reboots the off season and brings their A game next year, but you got to be really happy with the way this year went with just the consistency every single round you guys showed.
Yeah, I mean, we had an amazing season. Obviously, I want to give that up to our team and our partners for supporting us all along the way and throughout the years, and being in a similar chassis also helps. I mean, Vaughn, he had the craziest season, I would think, coming out with a brand new chassis. They did develop it for a very long time, but just to come out swinging and win the second round in that car is very awesome. But consistency pays, and that's what I always say. We might not have won a single round this year, which is hilarious in itself, but 6 podiums in a row is the type of season you need to have to win a championship. Yeah,
for sure. So, heading into this off season, what kind of changes? I mean, you got to be happy with the consistency. I mean, everybody's rebooting. They're bringing their A game next year again. But what do you guys do? I mean, you're on top. You have the consistency. I know, you mentioned you didn't have a win, but I mean, you're about as close as you can get to one. I mean, what do you do this off season to prepare for next year? I mean, how do you take this program that's everything's working well and take it to the next level?
Well, I mean, just like you said, everyone's going to reboot. You can't just sit idling by and be like, we have the formula to win, because as we've seen in Formula Drift, it is evolving every year, and the cars get crazier, and, we find new ways to make grip and new ways to make more angle and, new ways to data log the cars and how to apply that to make the car better, handle better, transition faster, any of those things. And so, we, of course, know that we have to continue to push to stay on top. It's a lot harder to fall to second place than it is to jump up to first, because you only have one place to go after you win a championship. And, so we have to try. We have to work just as hard as all the rest of the teams to stay competitive next year. And we do have a couple plans for next year. We're going to mix it up a little bit. We've obviously been running a very similar setup. I mean, we're sticking with Nissan. I'm not saying anything like that. We're still going to be driving the Nissan 370Z, but we are going to be shifting some things around within the chassis, trying to make sure that we're pushing as hard as we can to have a championship-winning car again.
Yeah, nice. So, heading into the off season, I mean, it's not, you don't have much of an off season here. You got SEMA in a couple of weeks, and right after that, the Baja 1000. I know you guys got this new truck. You and Turk are going to be wheeling down there. How's that program looking? I mean, you got to be pretty excited to be heading down to Baja.
Oh, yeah, definitely pumped for Baja. And like you said, there is no off-season. It just rolls right into the next event. I'm heading for Australia tonight, actually, to do a drifting event at the World Time Attack Challenge. And so that's going to be a lot of fun. I'll be down there for the next couple of days, come back next week. I have 2 weeks to finish my Datsun 280Z build for the AEM booth at SEMA. And really excited about that. We got a lot of awesome partners coming on board, helping us to make that thing a showstopper. I've never really done like a full ground up SEMA style build other than just like, rolling in my race cars. So really proud of this one, the way it's coming together. And so I'm going to be putting all my time into that car once I get back from Australia for the next 2 weeks, right up to the, minute before SEMA starts, I'm sure. And from there, like as soon as SEMA's over, we fire up the Baja. And Turk and I are going to be heading down to Mexico. We're going to do some pre-running and some testing with the Valvoline Cummins first-gen Dodge Diesel, and it is going to be insane. Four-wheel drive truck that makes about 1,200 foot-pounds of torque. So it's definitely got the power to dig itself out of some holes or maybe into some holes. So we just got to be we got to be smart with the pedal on that one. And this is the first for the both of us, and it's fun to be working with a partner on this level to them have such a team building exercise within the company to build this truck at their shop, at their facility, and to have two of their drivers come out and pilot it for them. So we're really looking forward to it, and this will be both of our first Baja experiences, and actually a couple of the guys that are working on the team's first Baja experience. So we know that it's a grueling event, and we are not taking it lightly, that we're just going to show up and throw records down or anything like that. We just want to experience it and come out and have fun and jump some trucks.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about Baja. Like I tell everybody that's going down there for the first time, like there'll be some point in the race where you're in the truck and stopping is going to be your fastest. Is going to be what makes you fastest. You're going to come into, there's going to be a silt hole or something, and it's like the people that just bonsai right into it, they end up stuck and spending the night. It's the guy that stops and gets out of the truck and walks around. It's like Baja, so it's the only race where sometimes stopping is the fastest you're ever going to be. It's
that's
like
funny. That's the first I heard that, so I'm
yeah.
going to remember that one.
Yeah,
Jim told me to get out of the truck.
Yeah, no, and it's the truth though. Like it's just crazy about Baja. Like sometimes, because if you go and you get stuck, you're down for 2 hours. But if you stop and you get out and see where you can go, it may only cost you 5 minutes. So sometimes stopping is the fastest way around something, which is an odd way to think about it. But that's Baja, man. That's what makes it so special down there. So.
Hey, I'm going to remember that. I'm going to be thinking about you next time we get out of that truck.
You'll have to call me after the event and say, hey, man, it worked out, or hey, you're stupid. One of the two. But
I got out 35 times. I never finished the race.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, you've been jumping into all kinds of off-road stuff. You just did some filming with KB and BJ and the boys over at Hoonigan, right, and some UTVs?
Oh yeah. We got wild out there with the Hoonigan crew, and those things are just so impressive. And I had such a good time jumping those brand new Can-Am Mavericks. They are out of control. Just what the UTV crowd has been putting on the table as far as the capabilities of these machines. And that was definitely the newest, latest, greatest one that I've driven. Of course, it's brand new for Can-Am, and I've been in a couple other ones in the past, and Vaughn has a couple UTVs himself, and I've gone and partied in his quarry before, but it's nuts, man. Those things are just super fast, and to think of what you can do for the cost of those things versus the guys that would build off-road vehicles, sand rails, and dune vehicles, anything like that. It's very cool to just be able to hop in and buy something that's going to be reliable and fun and inexpensive when you really think about it.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing what UTVs have done, and man, they're starting to be adapted into all kinds of different things. I know there was one guy at Builder on the Coast a year ago took a turbo one and actually made a drift car out of it, and the thing was just sick. It was crazy. He had it like at Willow Springs and shot some video of it. I'll have to text it if I can find the video, but it was pretty cool. I mean, he slammed the thing to the ground, and it was pretty trick. Put some slicks on it, but. Yeah, it was proper.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, yeah, you could probably make one of those handle really well, like slam it down low on the ground, change up the wheel and tire package, and they're quick, man. They're real fast.
Yeah. So, hey, man, we're running short on time, but I appreciate you taking the time. I'm gonna text you and Turk. We got to get you guys on here after you get back from Australia, maybe before or after SEMA, before you head to Baja, and get you guys both to talk about this Valvoline program a little bit more and things like that.
Yeah, sounds good. We'll obviously be getting more details as we get closer to it. So, yeah, keep us in mind. And, we'd love to call back in and chat about it and hopefully have some more info for you on the truck and the program and the rest of, the plans that Valvoline has for us. And, we're excited for it for sure.
Yeah, it should be awesome. Well, congrats on the championship, buddy. Well-deserved, and we will definitely be talking soon, my friend.
Awesome, man. Thank you very much. Have a good one.
All right, you too. Thanks, Chris.
Later.
All right, that was Chris Forsberg, your Formula Drift champ. We're going to take a short commercial break. We come back. We've got a lot to talk about here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When RJ Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at MTX.com.
MMA at its best, and it's back. It's Cage Rage 12, live on the river in the Blue Water Resort and Casino Showroom, Saturday, October 22nd, with live fights starting at 7 p.m. Get your $25 ringside tickets now, with doors opening at 6 p.m. Or general admission tickets starting at just $15. Available online or at the gift shop. Cage Rage 12 on the river.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
Honey, they're giving away $79,000 in guaranteed cash prizes for the crazy cash harvest at the Blue Water Resort and Casino.
On Saturdays, swipe your club card to receive free grand prize drawing entries for the grand finale. One winner will win $25,000 on October 29th.
Plus, on Saturdays, a chance to win $3,000 in cash prizes. Drawings every half hour from 2 to 6 p.m.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
All right, and we're back here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. See, I caught myself there. I did things a little bit different. So, another chalk one up for me. I think we're about even this time coming out of those breaks. But, Chris Forsberg, man, that guy, it's one of those things. I didn't know him before I started doing radio. And I think we've met in person maybe like once, but we've carried on so many conversations via text and through this radio show. It's like we're old buddies, right? No, Forsberg just, the guy's an animal, in a drift car. 3-time champ, first ever 3-time champ. And, going to do the Baja 1000, man. I'm looking forward to him and Turk, and like I said, with him, we're gonna get them locked down for something. Maybe the podcast, Project Action. Maybe we'll do Forsberg and Turk in that, because dude, it's gonna be crazy. Like it's gonna be insane. So I'm looking forward to doing that interview. We're gonna have a lot more Forsberg to come. That's for certain. But, we rocking and rolling here. I know we come back here in a few minutes. We got Joe Duncan. We also got Jason Voss in hour number 2. So all that to come here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris RZR XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR, and there was another fail on my part, so there you go, chalk another one up. Man, this muscle memory is being tough on me to break this thing today. You guys are having these internal battles here, but I do have to say, I challenge you guys to a contest. I'm already, my social media on Instagram and Twitter, it's at JimBeaver15, already kind of blowing up a bit. Kind of cool. I've got some pictures rolling in. I've got, and this stuff's all kind of geared towards me. Like, it isn't even, this isn't even like you guys doing cool stuff. So I'm hoping in the next week, you guys will, you guys will start pumping out some of your own unique content. It doesn't even have to be new, man. But like I said, we got some stuff to give away, some General Tire swag. We got guys, we got some of them requesting guests. Somebody saying some really nice stuff about me. Another person posting up a picture of the trophy truck from this past weekend. That's cool. I haven't seen this picture yet. One they actually shot themselves. So thanks for tagging me in that. Like, I'm pumped on that. Like, that's cool. That's definitely what I'm looking for. But me slaying some tires there. So that one I'm definitely going to snag and repost that at some point. Yeah. So if you want some of that General Tire swag, impress me. That's what it's all about. At JimBeaver15 on Instagram and Twitter. You can post up to my Facebook page as well. Just Jim Beaver. We got rid of the Jim Beaver's Down and Dirty show. Just Jim Beaver, because I post all kinds of stuff there. Tag me, post up something that impresses me. I don't care. Picture of me jumping trucks, a picture of anybody jumping trucks, you doing a burnout. I'd rather be like you guys, though. Like, I don't care about other stuff. It's easy to find cool stuff online. Like, I'd rather see you guys do something, right? Post something up, tag me at JimBeaver15, and like I said, if I like it, I will DM you, and we're going to send you guys a package courtesy of General Tire, some koozie cups, stickers, hats. We got some really nice flex fits. I don't know, I might be able to dig up some T-shirts or something. Like, I've got all kinds of sponsor stuff. I know I got some stuff from MTX, lanyards, keychains, bottle openers. I got stickers coming out my ears. We definitely are going to hook you guys up with some pretty rad stuff. So, post up. I don't care. You surfing, wakeboarding, doing a kickflip, riding your bike, mountain biking, doing burnouts, jumping a RZR, post it up, tag me, and you could be winning something. Impress me. So we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, my buddy Joe Duncan from Terracross, he's going to be on the line. And we got a lot to talk about with Mr. Joe. Kind of season's over. We're in the middle of Terracross TV season. So lots to talk about with Joe Duncan after this here on your favorite radio show, the Down and Dirty Radio Show. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our RZR vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Need new tires? Between September 1st and October 15th, General Tire's making trails, and you can receive a Visa rebate card for up to $70 with the purchase of 4 qualifying tires. From the ultra-high performance G-Max AS03 to the all-new Grabber X3 for extreme mud, dirt, and rock, General Tire has a tire that will help get you there. For more information, drive over to GeneralTire.com, and remember, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on 4 wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered, packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
All right, and we're back here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Joining me on the line, my buddy Joe Duncan from up there in my favorite state, Minnesota. How's everything going, Joe?
Hey, Jimmy, how's it going?
Things are good, man. Just rolling through another show here, but oh, man, I don't know. You tell me what's going on. Terracross, we're knee-deep in Sunday's worth of Terracross TV at the moment.
Yeah, we got all the shows ready to rip from heydays, and we're getting re-airs on Sunday afternoons and these primetime Wednesday nights. So, yeah, getting some great response there. We've gotten a bunch of social media requests for information about racing Terracross and the 2017 season, and that's what we're knee deep in right now, is getting ready for 2017, and we've got some getting ready for the SEMA show and the Glamis Camp Razor event to go out there and hang out with a bunch of our partners and a bunch of our racers and actually get to go out and have a good time and do a little riding for a change, which will be nice.
Yeah, I kind of forget, you and Jeremy, man, because you guys are both like power sports enthusiasts, and you guys are at Terracross. You're so busy putting on these events, like you guys don't get a chance to go and rip anything anymore, And I know Jeremy, you hooked him so bad. He used to be a driver in the series, and he decided to buy into things,
Yeah, that's the problem. If you own a dealership or you own racing or do racing, you forget about all the fun stuff and the reasons that you get into it. So it's nice to be able to have that time to get back to why you're involved and what you're doing it for. And yeah, we're going to get some riding in, go drive these Polaris Razors out in the sand dunes. We're going to go out with a bunch of really fun people. I think Jason Luberg, our 3-time champions, coming out there, and just a ton of people that'll be out at Camp Razor there in Glamis, and then again heading right from there to the SEMA show. We have 2, maybe 3 now Terracross Razor displays in at SEMA with some of our partners, and we've got some pretty big meetings. I think we talked about this 6-8 months ago, our meetings from SEMA all started to come together right before the season started at Heydays there, and we brought on some great new partners into Terracross, and those partners are growing for next year. So we're hoping SEMA does as well for us this year as it did last year.
Yeah, well, and I know last year it was funny because you and I we were trying to get together at SEMA, and between my meetings and your meetings, I think we saw each other for all of about 3 minutes.
We crossed paths at the hall and one of our mutual partners there.
Yeah, give each other a high five and a pat on the back, and it was off we went. It's funny. I know I'm already looking to see when I got to get out there, and I think I'm coming in Tuesday and maybe leaving Wednesday evening or something. I'm gonna try and do it in just one night, stay one night, but we'll see how well that works. You know how SEMA is.
That works out.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see how that works out.
And then the next thing on the list is X Games. Getting ready for Winter X Games in Aspen, Colorado. It'll be the 20th year for me out there, and we got some really cool stuff going on with snowcross leading off the weekend, and then snow bikes, the new snow bike cross, which is coming in hot with hopefully a bunch of our Terracross racers are actually going to be racing the snow bike class, and then freestyle on Saturday, and then some best trick on Sunday. So yeah, getting some pretty cool stuff rolling into the winter season here.
Yeah, here's a question for you, because I've actually had this question on social media, a fan question, and I didn't know, and I think this was for the Project Action show. But so snowbike, how is the format going to work? Is it going to be kind of some backwoods stuff, or is it going to be actually like a snowcross style track?
It'll be a motocross style track with jumps, step up, step down, that are built specifically for snow bikes.
Okay.
As you know, without having that front tire rotation and having that able to grab a front brake and bring your front end down, they're a little bit different to ride. The doubles and triples are a little bit more sketchy on a snow bike right now than on like a snowmobile or on a dirt bike. So the track will be designed for the machines, and we've got some of the best in the business helping us with this stuff. Chris Brandt, who's been on a snow bike timber sled, since they've come out. He has, I think, 8 of them at his Brandt's Backcountry Adventure Tour. Anybody can, call them up or go online to his website, and they can go out there and ride with them and try these timber sled snow bikes out and have a great experience. And those will be the same type and same machines we'll be racing at the X Games this year.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to throw it out there, but I know snow bike racing is new, so if they need an extra hand on the TV end for snow bike racing, I will take one for the team, and I'll volunteer myself, Joe.
You know a guy who knows a guy?
I know a guy who knows a guy. I think you may know him too, but I'll just put that out there, right?
All right. Well, I know a guy who knows a guy too. I'll make a call.
Yeah.
So getting ready for doing the voiceover of our Camp Lejeune Terracross Supports the Troops event. That'll be coming up in the next couple weeks here.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. It looks like an amazing event, out there. And I was totally bummed I couldn't do it, but I've got so many things working out here, and then this race coming up, and I had some stuff at Off-Road Expo, but definitely looking forward to voicing that. I gotta say, our good friend Andre from OTSFF, I got a call from him at like 7 a.m. on Saturday, and he says, "Hey Jimmy," he says, "is your offer for real?" And I said, "What offer is that?" And he says, "Using your shop." He says, "I rolled the truck. I need your shop." And I said, "It's all yours, Andre."
That's my boy Andre. Yeah, I talked to him afterwards. He was so pumped. The Saturday didn't go so well. The first day didn't go so well. The second day, I guess he did pretty well and finished and had a great time. And he's new to all the desert stuff, so he's pretty pumped about it.
Yeah,
he's been a long supporter of Terracross and snowmobile adventures. He's had top snowcross team and top motocross teams out of Canada for years. So, it was great to see him excited. And actually, like we were just talking about, another guy that's been, doing all the work and forgot about all the playing. Well, he said it's time for him to get back to playing. So he chose to come race in the desert.
Yeah, he was pumped. I think he's got bit by the bug hard. Like, he's already, hey, we got to talk this week. And I'm like, absolutely, man. But he's definitely into it, which is a good thing, and it's always a good thing, But sounds.
Yeah, he's a sponsor of Terracross and a longtime friend, and yeah, just good to see him out there having a great time. And thanks for your help. Helping him out.
Oh, no problem at all. Yeah, I think we got some. I'm gonna have to get him on the show. Maybe we'll get him on with you sometime or something like that, just to chat, because I got to get him on. There's a big story there, and I really want to be able to tell it, because he's invested a lot into motorsports,
Yeah, he helps a lot of people out. A lot of people that he does it on the side just because he likes them and wants to see them succeed. He doesn't ask for anything, doesn't want anything from it. And yeah, just a good guy to work with, and love being around him.
Yeah. Well, I know Jolene was telling me she won her Canadian motocross championship for Andre, under the OTSFF banner. So, yep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we got to get Jolene on a timber sled and get her ready to try and get into X Games.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Joe, we got to take a short break, buddy, and when we come back, I'm going to have Jason Voss on the line. But thanks a lot, Joe.
See you, Jimmy. Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
MMA at its best, and it's back. It's Cage Rage 12, live on the river in the Blue Water Resort and Casino Showroom, Saturday, October 22nd, with live fights starting at 7 p.m. Get your $25 ringside tickets now, with doors opening at 6 p.m. Or general admission tickets starting at just $15. Available online or at the gift shop. Cage Rage 12 on the river.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver joined on the line by my fellow trophy truck driver, Jason Voss. How's everything going, Jason?
Doing good, Jim. How are you today?
I am doing well, man, but definitely not as good as you. Coming off another victory here in Parker, and man, I was broke after day number 1, so I was just kind of spectating. But there came a point there where you just slowly started to, that gap just started to lengthen, and you were on it, man. That it was just you were just flat on it. Truck was dialed in last weekend.
Yeah, no, we definitely had a good weekend. Felt good to come out and get a win this year. We hadn't got a win yet this year, so that definitely felt good. And I haven't won the overall yet at the Parker 2-day race. I've won a single day there. Actually, I think I've won 2 single days there and gotten a second overall there. So felt good to come out and charge hard, and really the truck worked flawless both days. Had some really good battles out there. Really, it's just a good time in Parker.
Yeah. Well, how is it for you? I mean, I've talked about it before, but I like picking other people's brains. I mean, how is it from you going from a race like Vegas to Reno where, you're in the truck for a long time, you got to pace yourself. It's 550 miles, and we know, I mean, and obviously this year was a little bit different with a 2-day event, but it's still a longer event. I mean, how does your driving style change from an event like that to Blue Water Challenge, where it's 75 miles each day and it's literally drop the hammer and you got to run 110%?
Yeah, they're definitely 180 from each other. Showing up out there at Blue Water in Parker, I mean, it was qualifying pace all day on Saturday. We just had to push it, and I didn't qualify as good as I would have liked to, but I started on the outside of Brett Serapis there, and as we headed for the desert, I made the pass on him, actually a line that I got passed on a few years ago. I used that back and put the pass on Brett and thought I had him covered heading up Shea Road, and man, he motored right back up next to me and got in front of me, and at that point I was like, all right, well, it's game on for today. And they just kind of put you in check a little bit of what the pace is going to be for the day. I kind of wanted to take a peek at Shea Road and some of the big holes out there. A few guys in the past have wadded it pretty good, first go around there. But no, that started a good battle up Shea Road. We came out on top there and really set the pace for the day. I had to chase down Justin Lofton after that, and he set one hell of a pace.
Yeah, Justin, he's scary. He's kind of like you, man. When you guys get out there and you get out front and you get clean air, it's scary because there's nothing holding you back, and it's just, man, it's like Justin's good. I mean, he can check out on the field, and it's tough to reel him back in when he gets out there and gets that clean air.
Yeah, and I was really worried about that on Saturday. With him qualifying first and starting alone up there with clean air. I knew we were going to have to make some moves quick and try to catch back up with him because he was definitely going to have the jump on us. And and he did. He jumped us pretty good. Our crew was giving us split times, and we pushed really, really hard on lap 3 and came around to the finish. I know he had a little problem with some lap traffic in front of him, and we hit the same guys and struggled getting around him as well. But luckily we came out 25 seconds on top, for day 1. And that set Justin and I starting side by side on day 2. And he's a good friend of mine. And I knew it was going to be an all-out battle. Part of me was a little disappointed when he spit an axle shaft, just 2 miles in on day 2. But the other part of me was a little relieved, calm down a little bit and just race the race.
Yeah, and then then you ended up having Kroll behind you, and I know you guys are buddies too, right? So you're just surrounded by people.
Yeah, but Justin, I only had by 25 seconds on day one. Justin and I had kind of pulled away from everyone else, and I think I had a 5 or 6 minute a gap on Sean, and I think TJ Flores was back there as well. So I knew they were going to have to pass me and put time on me. So not to say I wasn't worried about that, but I could race our own race, and really there is no slowing down at Parker. I mean, the holes are deep. Our truck is set to go at a race pace. It works best when you're charging at 110%. You try to back it down, maybe save the truck a little bit, and it just doesn't drive as good. So you're kind of forced, with the setup you got, and ours likes to go fast, so that's how we got to drive it.
And that's what's funny you mentioned that, because I know I've talked with guys and specifically, they were talking about their Pro 4 trucks and things like that, but it seems like trophy trucks, and I know mine's that way too, like, everybody's like, to drive it at 90%, but the problem is you drive them at 90% and there's holes, the big holes and things like that, and you drive them at 90%, and the truck just doesn't work as good through the big holes because instead of being on top of everything, then you're driving through some of them. And so what people don't understand about trophy truck, like these things are meant to run 100%. When you back it down, sometimes it ends up being almost, it's slower, but it's a whole lot slower just because the truck isn't acting right, and I think it's funny you bring that up because I haven't really ever talked about that much on the show, but it's a total truth. I mean, these trucks are meant to be run at the limit.
Yeah, I think when you try to step the pace back a little bit, especially on a race like this, that it's a harder truck to drive at that point, and we spend a lot of time testing with King Shocks before every single race, and we set up our truck specifically for what race we're going to. And, the Blue Water Desert Challenge, there's going to be big holes out there, and that's how we have the truck set up. So, you get in some dust, and you got to slow down a little bit, or, we were lucky enough to have a little bit of a lead on Sunday, and we were able to back it down a little bit. But when you do that, you're not jumping those big holes, clearing them on the other side. You're not skipping across the top of them, and even just driving it into the holes. The truck becomes a little more of a handful when you're not driving it at 100%.
Yeah. So what's up next for you? Obviously, I mean, I know we've got the Pahrump race for Best in the Desert. How's things for the Baja 1000 looking for you guys?
Good. I'm going back down. I know a lot of people know we haven't really made any announcements yet, but I am going down and going to drive with Rob Mack again. So really, really excited about that. We've been working on that all year, and really now that we got Parker behind us, that's where we're putting all of our attention towards is getting packed up and heading down south of the border.
Yeah. Well, and how is that for you? I mean, you spend all year in your trophy truck, and every you know everything about your truck, and when something's not right, and I mean it's very small things, but you get into somebody else's truck, and a trophy truck's a trophy truck, but you don't know it quite as good. I mean, how is that for you making that transition into Rob's trucks? I mean, if you're going to jump in anybody's trucks, I'm sure his are just as dialed in as yours, but how is that switch for you?
Yeah, like you said, Rob's truck is set up. It works very, very well, but it is different. After Vegas to Reno, before Rob tore his truck down, I got to go out and put some more time on his truck. So, I recently got quite a bit of seat time in it. But like you said, it is different. His transmission shifts, a 180 from mine. As far as shift patterns go. So where my third is his first gear. And, it's anything from that to his seat belts, they latch opposite direction than mine do. It's just all the little stuff that comes out. But, I got to go out and put some time in his truck. Actually, my pre-runner, when I go down to Mexico, we changed the transmission in it, changed the shift pattern so that it matches Rob's truck. And, switch my seat belts around so they match Rob's truck. So when we're done pre-running, putting our time in down there before the race, it's really second nature, all that small stuff that you don't have to think about anymore and just concentrate on driving.
Yeah, the muscle memory kind of falls into line after you've done that many miles. How many times are you going to do your section down there in Baja?
Oh, as much as possible. I mean, I'd like to try and get around it 4 or 5 times at least before race day comes.
Yeah. What section of the course are you going to be driving? I know the course map's out now. What section are you going to be in? Do you know yet?
Yeah, I'll be doing the second half. Rob's going to qualify the truck and start the truck, and I'll be getting in some point before the crossover, where we cross back over, to head towards the San Felipe side, towards Valley T. So, we got it kind of narrowed up to where we're going to switch at, and we'll finalize things when we get down there and really take a look at it all.
Yeah. So what's 2017 look like for you guys? You running Best in the Desert again? You going to mix in a little score here and there? Do you quite know yet?
We're going to run Best in the Desert again. As far as the score series goes, unfortunately we didn't make it down to the Baja 500 this year with our truck. Typically that's a race we like to go do. So we'll be doing full Best in Desert series again next year. Try to get down there and do the Baja 500 in our truck. And then, when the Baja 1000 rolls around, we'll see what kind of opportunities are out there. But would definitely like to go do that again.
Yeah. So your dad rolled out the Profi truck, man. How was that here at the Blue Water Challenge?
Yeah, it was good. He, the truck was sitting in the shop, and he was itching to get back out there and just wanted to go out and have some fun. And I think he did. Drove consistent both days. He hasn't been in the truck in a while, and I think he came out somewhere in like 10th place for the weekend. So he was happy. He had problem free for the most part, and he had a good time out there.
Yeah. See, one of those things. He watches you race all year long. It's like, man, at some point he's like, I got to get in the truck, right? It's just
and this is a rough one to come back to. It's rough, It's dusty, it's pretty brutal. But as far as pit support goes, there really is no pitting. You got someone in the hot pit in case of emergency. So it's an easy one to bring the second truck out and be able to have 2 trucks go out and race.
Awesome. Well, congrats on the win, Jason. And good luck at the Baja 1000. And we'll definitely be pulling for you, and we'll definitely have to talk soon.
All right. I appreciate it, Jim.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jason.
Thank you.
All right. Take it easy.
Bye.
All right. That was Jason Voss, your Blue Water Desert Challenge winner for Best in the Desert, and teaming up with Rob Mack, the Baja 1000. We're going to take a short break, and we come back. My buddy Chris Leone with Red Bull GRC, he's going to be on the line. We're going to be dissecting everything that happened out there in L.A.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris RZR XP 1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at MTX.com. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
And we're back here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, joined on the line by my buddy Chris Leone, social media content director for Red Bull Global Rallycross. How's everything going, Chris?
Oh, Jim, an amazing week here in Los Angeles. We just wrapped up the tightest overall season yet of Red Bull GRC. Our two championships were just decided by a combined 11 points, which is roughly the equivalent of a finishing position each in both Supercar and GRC lights all season. We had one back-to-back champion, one rookie champion. It has just been an amazing, incredible week of Red Bull GRC action.
Yeah, it's, and the thing is, like, I was keeping tabs on social media, and obviously I had a race this weekend, or I probably would have been out there in LA taking it all in. But, man, I thought Tanner Faust had it in the bag, but you never can count Scott's speed out. But, Tanner didn't have a bad weekend. It's not like he threw it away and, finished, 12th or something like that, Tanner had a good weekend. It was just Scott had a little bit better weekend, right?
Oh, absolutely. And what it came down to was Sunday, absolutely. Coming in, Tanner had 6 points on Scott. For those who aren't in the know on the Red Bull GRC point system, the heats are run on a 5-4-3-2-1 scale, and the finals, there's a difference of 5 points between each finishing position. Winner takes 50, 10th place takes 5. Tanner and Scott were head-to-head in the first round of heats on Sunday, meaning that either Scott was going to narrow the gap to 5 if he beat Tanner and Tanner was second, or if Tanner beat Scott, Tanner was able to extend it to 7. And where this was important is that's where that 5-point scale in the final comes into play. If Scott was able to narrow that gap to 5 points, if they were to tie on points, the tiebreaker would be wins, and whichever driver had more wins. Now going into Sunday, they both had 4. Which means we would go into second place finishes, and Scott would have had the tiebreaker there. So Tanner beating Scott head-to-head at first was a saving grace, but in the semifinals, because anything can happen in Red Bull GRC, everything changed. Scott was able to find a way around Steve Arpin in the first semifinal, and Tanner, for the first time and only time all year, did not make it out of his semifinal directly into the main event. He had to go to the last chance qualifier. The difference ended up being 3 points. Scott was able to narrow the gap to 4. And at that point, it was whichever Beetle ran higher in the final was the champion, and Scott was able to do that. It was an incredible battle. Tanner was right on him the entire time. But of course, that leads into the last couple of laps. Scott finally making the pass on Patrick Sandell to add to that cushion. But then Brian Deegan, with probably the move of the year, just jumping past everybody who was on the podium at that point, going from 4th to 1st in the Honda Joker lap We've seen Brian be smart in the Joker for years and years and years, and he finally snapped that winless streak, finally got his first win since joining Chip Ganassi Racing, and, what a way to do it. The last race of the season, jumping into the top 3 in points, his best points finish in 4 years, so, that was an incredible moment too. It was an amazing final. I didn't want to leave Deegan out of that discussion because, that really was one of the best moves of the year. But, yeah, absolutely. Scott and Tanner both had great weekends. They both had weekends that any driver would be, proud to have. So it was really, the top 2 drivers and cars and teams in the series faced off. And Scott, when all was said and done, was just that little bit better.
Yeah, well, my heart goes out to Tanner. But he's got plenty of championships at this point. But, man, Brian, I want to talk about Deegan there for a minute because I feel like the past year, especially last year, I feel like people kind of forgot about him. He was out doing the off-road thing, and he's tremendous. He's a great off-road driver. And I think people in GRC kind of forgot about him because he was running partial schedules and just kind of showing up and running here and there. And, he went back this year, dedicated himself to running Red Bull GRC. And I got to tell you, man, I hope he's back next year because I think he's a threat for the championship. He's back, and he proved right there. He belongs in that championship discussion.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Brian coming back full time this year, we were of course absolutely excited about it. Him partnering full time with Steve Arpin over at the Ganassi squad, only their second year in the series, and they were still looking for their first win, and they finally got that with Steve in Daytona. But Brian's consistency, his dedication, when Brian Deegan sees something and wants it, he does everything in his power to get it, and until he has it, he will not quit. So I'm absolutely optimistic. Obviously, we just wrapped up 2016, so it's still a little early to talk about anything 2017. But, I'm fairly confident that Brian will be back and will be contending for a championship and will be as strong as he's ever been.
Yeah.
He had multiple podiums this season. He, even starting in Phoenix, he had to go through the last chance qualifier in Phoenix. His start in the semifinals just wasn't what he needed it to be. Had to persevere through the LCQ, and then on that Phoenix track where drivers were having a lot of trouble passing, found a way up to third. That was a real statement race for him, and it was, it's always awesome to see a driver who, once they start committing themselves, in a different way, get those fantastic results. Obviously, Brian's been committed to the series. Otherwise, he would not have even stuck around to do partial schedules the previous couple of years. But he came in, he really fully dedicated himself to Red Bull GRC in a way that, a lot of drivers who have passed through the series have not been able to do. Brian's commitment level is just so fantastic, and he is, he wants a championship real bad. He wanted that win real bad, and it had been a long time since he had been able to take one. And, so all that celebration that everybody saw on NBC when he took that victory, it's hard to put into words just how real and how significant that was. Brian was so stoked. And, if you're a fan and if you enjoy just seeing good racing and seeing guys who, seeing guys who really fight for it and really want it that bad, get those victories, it's the same way about any of the guys who won races for us this year in both classes. But, for Brian, he waited so long. He worked at it for so long. It's as a race fan, it's got to be cool to see somebody finally find success like that. And, hopefully that really came across in the broadcast because he was so excited about that win.
Yeah. Well, two things I want to talk about. One, we got to talk about kind of the reemergence of Subaru. I know not running a full program this year, but changing up the drivers the past couple of rounds and going into this one running a 3-car effort. But, man, I got to tell you, especially looking at qualifying times, I think Subaru has finally got back to where they need to be.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Chris Atkinson taking that pole position, that was a major statement for Subaru Rally Team USA. And, it's one of the most passionate fan bases that we have in our paddock. That much is absolutely obvious. If anybody has ever gone to the Subaru hauler after the race and, seen folks there just absolutely clustered around, just trying to get parts off the vehicles, used bumpers, autographs, whatever it may be. I mean, everybody knows the strength of the Subaru fan base. They're some of the most passionate race fans in the world, in any series. It doesn't matter where. It doesn't matter whether it's the highest levels in the world or your local short tracks. It is hard to find anybody more passionate than a Subaru race fan. And, it's great to see, obviously, those guys have something to celebrate about. As you mentioned, there have been some driver changes, some lineup changes. Everybody knows David Higgins' success as well on the stage rally side of things, and he's come in and, recently given them something to smile about over here, too. Winning the last chance qualifier on Saturday, for example. Running through the semifinals in Seattle and not having to even go to the LCQ. Neither Subaru went to the LCQ in Seattle. That was something that they had not achieved all year in their short program this season, and that was a big step. They've done a lot of testing, a lot of development. Bringing in Atco was one of the best moves that anybody in the series has made in quite a while. He's adapted very well to this series. As somebody who comes from stage rally and comes from stage rally at the highest level in the WRC, there are certain skills that you have that really can adapt well to rallycross. A lot of it is just the wheel-to-wheel stuff, but if you're a driver who really understands how to run the super special stages, if you come over from the WRC, then you can have a chance at being really successful. And I think we've definitely seen that from Atco. Higgins has been a mainstay on and off of the entire history of Red Bull GRC, so he's somebody who knows the series well. They brought in Toshi Arai, who has an incredible pedigree in stage rally as well, for this weekend to try something new and different. And, it's just, you're right, it really has been a resurgence as of late for that team, and I think there is a lot for the race team, the drivers, and especially those passionate Subaru fans to be optimistic about for 2017.
Yeah. Well, and before we let you go, one thing, and this is something for 2 years you and I have been speculating on privately, right? And it's finally here. Mitchell DeYoung in a supercar, and I got to say, for his first ever rounds in a supercar, he didn't disappoint. Made 2 finals. I think he was his times were there. I think he finished 7th, one of them. Pretty good showing for his first ever supercar race.
Yeah, certainly not a bad weekend for Mitchell. It's something that I think a lot of people have been waiting for a long time, to have him move up. And, it's great that he finally got that opportunity, driving the 3rd Honda for OMSE, partnering Yoni and Sebastian. And, yeah, absolutely. I talked to Mitchell extensively over the weekend, and some of the things that he was saying were, the biggest thing that he kind of had to talk himself out of was bringing as much power into the corners as he would do with the lights car, because the lights car with half the horsepower is very momentum based. And, obviously Mitchell has been very successful in lights cars and has driven those cars for quite a while. So having to make that little adjustment to his driving style, absolutely made a difference. And he just kind of had to memorize that, get that muscle memory down, really focus in on there. And, it's great to see lights drivers getting a chance in supercars. I mean, Tanner Whitten also got a chance this weekend. He moved up with SH Rallycross, and he ended up finishing 6th on Sunday, which was a fantastic run for him, a fantastic run for that race team. You know, and those two guys have been two of the biggest names on the Lights program for pretty much its entire history. I mean, Tanner was one of the first test drivers. Mitchell was one of the first race drivers. Mitchell still holds the record for single-season victories in Lights with 7. You know, if there are any two Lights drivers who really deserved a chance to move up and really show their stuff in Los Angeles on the way to trying to find full-time rides in 2017, it was those two guys. And, you know, again, they both didn't disappoint. I know that the Mitchell one, the Mitchell program was something that we've all been waiting for a long time. And he has a very, very bright future. You know, Tanner does as well. It's great to see those guys moving up. And, you know, it'll be really exciting to see this off season if any of the drivers who were running well in Lights this year get a chance. You know, we had 4 guys who entered this weekend in Lights with a chance at the championship. Cabot Bigham, the rookie for Dreyer and Reinbold, was the one who was able to pull it off. Oliver Erickson, the defending champion, and Mickey Weckstrom, another rookie at OMSE, were both in it. And, of course, Connor Martell at Dirtfish was in it until almost the very end. So, you know, all those guys are really, really strong prospects for the future. And, you know, if what we've seen in Lights this season is any indication, then the supercar class is only going to get stronger and tougher over the next few years as race teams start to add cars and, you know, we really start flushing out this top class in GRC, and some of these guys really get a chance to take on Tanner and Scott and Brian and Steve Arpin and Patrick Sandell and everybody else who's been running up front here in Red Bull GRC year after year.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the time, Chris. We're running short on time here, buddy, but we'll definitely we'll have to get you dialed in this off season. You know, some of these news and announcements on 2017 start popping up.
Oh, for sure. You know I'll be around, Jim.
All right. Thanks a lot, Chris.
Thank you, Jim. Talk soon.
All right. You too. All right. And we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our RZR vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. Need new tires? Between September 1st and October 15th, General Tires making trails, and you can receive a Visa rebate card for up to $70 with the purchase of 4 qualifying tires. From the ultra-high performance G-Max AS03 to the all-new Grabber X3 for extreme mud, dirt, and rock, General Tire has a tire that will help get you there. For more information, drive over to GeneralTire.com, and remember, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. It's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. And Jim Beaver here, wrapping things up on yet another edition of your favorite action motorsports radio show. And if action sports is more your thing, definitely check me out at Jim Beaver's Project Action on Podcast One, the Podcast One app, downanddirtyshow.com, or iTunes. And if you listen on iTunes, please rate, subscribe, and review. It definitely goes a long way. Got Sarah Price on tap for this week as my guest on Project Action. We've already done the interview, and I got to tell you, it's 1 hour of pure epic goodness. You don't want to miss Sarah Price on Project Action dropping this Thursday. And for those of you looking for some freebies, Dirtfish Rally School, I got a coupon code with them. It's JB Dirtfish. That'll give you 15% off your order. And MTX Audio, it's just Beaver, my last name, for 10% off your order at mtx.com. We got upcoming events. We got Lucas Oil, Stadium Super Trucks, Durocross, Baja 1000, Camp Razor, Monster Energy Cup, SEMA Show, and Amy Hood will be back next week. So you definitely want to be locked and loaded for that. Once she returns, got to give a shout-out to Polaris Razor, General Tire, Subaru, Casey Highlights, Gibson, Dirtfish, MTX Audio, Impact, Terracross, and the Blue Water Resort and Casino, Chris Leone, Jason Voss, Joe Duncan, and Chris Forsberg. You can give me a follow at JimBeaver15 on Instagram and Twitter. It's at AmyHood71 on Instagram and Twitter. And it's just Jim Beaver on Facebook. Amy Hood 71 on Facebook, and downanddirtyshow.com will get you all those back episodes, as well as our app, available everywhere apps are. And don't forget, rate, review, and subscribe, Project Action, and the Down and Dirty Radio Show on iTunes. Thanks to all of you for tuning in. We will see you next week. Keep it locked and loaded here, and as always, game on.